YouTube, what's going on? It's your boy Buddha, back in the building for another last Cloudia video and more of a discussion video with this one. I definitely wanted to make a Maze of Tartarus thoughts after my first day playing this new game mode. But just to start, I overall am extremely pleased with what they have delivered here. This truly does feel like an end game, like you have needed to put the hours and the work in order to beat or come close to beating this stage altogether, right? The Maze of Tartarus is a 20-floor experience. You're going to be dealing with battles that are long drawn out. It's not wave by wave kind of content, so a lot of skills that I think many of us have become accustomed to, like Pirate's Feast or any at end of battle type of skill, is just not relevant here. We're playing the long game with this one, so it's been absolutely challenging to come up with team comps while also making sure not to burn all of your top tier units, because we know that when you use units, weapons, equipment, arcs in a specific floor, they are no longer available upon completion. So you're talking about, if you utilize all 4 spaces in the team party, you're looking at 80 units, 80 arcs, and then whatever combination of equipment that will just get eliminated when you beat a floor. So how your boy Buddha has been handling it, I haven't really been trying to blast through floors. I'm kind of going in with 1 unit, seeing how the feel of that stage is, because they are pretty unique, and then try and use 2 and at the most 3 units if I really need some extra utility, while also not trying to use like my most top of the top tier units and arcs and equipment right out of the gate, because we know that these floors do progressively get harder. I think some of them are a bit gimmicky. Some of them I wouldn't consider hard. I wouldn't consider every single floor after a specific floor hard. It's all going to depend on what units you have, what kind of strategies you can come up with, what kind of cheesing mechanics you're used to doing. And all of that combined makes it an extremely challenging game mode compared to anything we've seen in Last Cloudia up until now. So ultra difficult, I think, is exactly correct with how they teased this game mode, and I'm very happy with it. You guys can see if I enter, we are on the 11th floor. I wanted to at least get halfway through. I wanted to beat it, but that was not going to happen. I quickly realized after trying floor 1 yesterday, I wanted to get through at least half of it before I made a little my thoughts on this. And my goodness, is this a challenge. Your boy is literally sweating. I get sweaty armpits every time I go to beat one of these floors, because I'm also trying to be a bit strategic with how I complete these floors, as I discussed earlier. We gotta give a shout out to the homie Tweaks, clearing all 20 floors in the first day. While, yes, the man has a fleshed out account, he's a spend to get player, so he has basically every unit, every arc since he started playing. That is still an incredibly impressive feat, because I would make the argument that even if the entire player base had every character, every arc, everything available to them on an account, there's only a select handful of players that would know how to utilize certain things in this game. So the fact that he took his account, went through the plethora of unit/team building and was able to clear all 20 floors in the first day is actually crazy. It's actually crazy. That's the first goal in this entire game mode, is can you clear it? Before we even talk about the ranking system, min-maxing certain floors, the question is, can you actually beat this game mode altogether? And that is proving to be challenging, especially for me. I'm not going too crazy with the units that I have used so far. I've been able to beat every single stage without using a full party of 4. However, I feel like I'm really starting to get limited on the types of teams I can build, the variety of utility that's on my account, right? A lot of us have focused on building DPS units, and while that is going to be the majority of what you need in a lot of these fights, at least so far, there's moments where I'm like, ooh, I need a support unit to either just be able to keep my DPS alive in tricky situations, or add a certain debuffing utility that I can't manage on my DPS carry. So it's definitely running dry, my variety in units that I can start bringing. So I'm sweating a little bit. I'm kind of giving away some of my roster that's still available that I haven't used yet, but I definitely wanted to talk about how challenging this is and where your boy is in it altogether. This is around for an entire month. It does seem like the ranking system they put behind it is very similar. It's a very similar structure to the arena ranking. It's probably going to reset every month, and then I don't know if they're going to change things or if it's just going to reset the point acquisition, so then we restart this ranking period. This is also the beta event, so it's probably going to go away for a little bit, just as multiplayer did a year ago when they first released the beta. They may change some UI things, they may change some certain fights, they may change some certain mechanics. We'll see, but I'm definitely going to try and at the minimum, beat all 20 floors. We'll see if I'm able to do that. I think there are a couple things I can go back and redo with different party members that I didn't think of before. So the min-maxing portion just adds an entirely new layer of gameplay to this game mode altogether. And personally, it makes me not as mad at the ranking system. At least the portion of extending playability with Maze of Tartarus introduced. However, now that we're talking about ranking, we need to bring up the elephant in the room, and that is that while you guys saw, your boy is number 8, and it's nice to see myself in the top 10 at this current moment. That will probably change within a couple hours from filming this. It's not a true ranking, guys. There is a massive problem going on right now in both of the global and JP servers, and that is involving shadow bans in Las Cloudia. For those of you who don't know what shadow bans are, it's when an account is not permanently banned. They're not hard banned, right? It doesn't exclude you from playing the game. However, shadow banning is a term for soft banning, which doesn't allow a player to rank in certain competitive modes when introduced, like time trials, as we've seen. There are a long list of players that have been shadow banned for a very long time now, while they have adjusted themselves and been in the terms of service, been following the terms of service correctly, but yet are still considered shadow banned, allowing them or not allowing them to rank in the current game mode Maze of Tartarus. Now, there's so many issues with this topic at hand currently. For starters, a lot of these shadow bans occurred before we had Steam. It was back when grinding Las Cloudia, we didn't have a lot of options. There was no auto run feature. There wasn't a lot of convenience features that were introduced into the game back then. And so a lot of people used emulators in order to macro certain grinds. And while, yes, that gave players an unfair advantage back in the day, there have been so many additions of auto run of Steam that make that reason for shadow banning those players more completely irrelevant in today's game. On top of that, there was a lot of talk in the community, not just among the community, but between ADIS staff and the community, that they were going to try and do a 6-month period where if you were within the terms of service, you didn't get detected using macros or using anything that was against their now modern terms of service, that shadow ban would be lifted. However, we have seen that they have not stayed true to that. And the evidence I have is looking at the homie Cryptman. This shadow ban, this blanket of shadow ban occurred almost 2 years ago when the initial Dr. Stone event rolled around. Since then, we know Cryptman has not touched macros, has not done anything outside of the terms of service, but yet to this day is still shadow banned. So I use him as evidence here that they have not honored that 6-month period or trial period that they said they would observe to see if people were within those limits, and then they would unshadow ban them. Tweaks is obviously included in there, being the first one to do all 20 floors. He would be number 1 probably right now. But then we also have other dedicated members of the community like Vagu, One-Eyed Poet I saw posted on the Reddit. These are players that do support the game heavily and are not cheating, quote unquote, anymore. So why are they getting punished for an event like this? Why has the Last Cloudia staff not done what they need to do in order to lift these shadow bans and then encourage their biggest supporters of the game to keep playing the game? It just kind of doesn't make sense to me. The final point I want to bring up is that we know that these shadow banned people are not limited from all forms of ranking. They are limited in time trials, which makes sense because you can win premium crystals. You can win paid currency. So it makes sense that the cheaters, which they're not anymore, can't compete for things that you typically have to pay for. However, where we do see them available to compete is within the arena ranking system. We know you can't win crystals from arena. It's just a UR Stardust and some other account materials. And it makes sense that they can compete there because there's no premium currency to be won involved. That is the same case here, right? If we look at the ranking system and look at the point rewards, there are no crystals that you can obtain here. So since this mimics exactly the arena ranking rewards, why are these people excluded from this ranking but not the arena ranking, right? There's no consistency here. So it just adds up to a very, very, very frustrating situation for longtime veterans of Last Cloudia that still play the game, still support the game, are still very active members in the community. And it just doesn't make sense to me and many others why they are still punished to this day for things that have long ago changed in Last Cloudia altogether. That, I think, is going to do it for my rant. I just wanted to get the message out there for everyone, give you my thoughts on the game mode, and provide the facts and the details on this shadow banning situation that is going around in the community. And I've seen a couple people question, like, what is shadow banned, especially new players. I'm going to stop talking there, edit this, post it up, because your boy is not on top of making videos right now with as sweaty as I am trying to grind this stage out. So we've got 10 more floors to do. We'll see if we can do it. And you guys know I'll keep you updated. So that's all I got for you this time, guys. Like, subscribe, bell notice if you're new to the Buddha Gang. And if you're new to Last Cloudia, don't forget, we just posted the 2022 Beginner's Guide to set new players up for success moving throughout the next year of Last Cloudia. Hopefully we'll be around for 2023, but in the meantime, make sure you get a strong start and watch that video. With all that being said, y'all know what we say: work hard, play hard. See you in the next video.